The UnPodcast is brought to you by Emma. Get more from your email marketing.
In a world where QR codes kill kittens and customer service is an oxymoron, one podcast has set out to make things right. This is the UnPodcast with your hosts, Scott Stratten and Alison Kramer.
Welcome back to the continuance of Summer Sausage 17.
What?
I was going to say SummerFest,
Yeah.
but then I thought sausage.
That's a food, right? Summer sausage?
I think so.
It's like salami.
I don't know. We're back on video. After 4 episodes, audio only. I had a zit. That's why.
Yeah, we couldn't film it. And Wayne came to our house.
He did. That was weird.
Because we tried to do it on our own and it was not good.
Not gonna happen.
No. We did not have the expertise necessary.
We're back in the Comfort Studios in Burlington, Ontario. After being West Coasters, West Side, for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, but we were there for about 2 weeks with one night and one day home kind of in between.
Yeah, so we don't even know what day it is right now, but we did Vegas. And then we took the crew, the whole family minus one, to San Francisco.
Yeah, I'm wearing my Facebook shirt today.
The Facebook shirt that you can only buy at Facebook.
I also bought an Instagram shirt.
Yes, you
which
did.
is exactly the same.
So shout out to Morgan Brown, who hooked up our Facebook tour. That was amazing. Hang on a second.
Yeah, parents, if you ever want to inspire your kids to do well in school, take them on a Facebook tour. Because I think it inspired some plans for advanced education.
And thanks to Brendan at Google for also hooking us up with a tour there. And in relation to that, my man Craig, who I used to work with back in the movie theater days when I was 17, 18, we put something out. Here's a great thing about community. The nice thing about community, we realized, we're going to San Francisco. I had a gig out there at Inman Connect with realtors, so I was getting ready to scream at them. And we decided, let's go for the week, because we've been to San Francisco a few times. We loved it, and we want to show the kids it. So we planned it, and we decided, hey, we're pretty close to Silicon Valley. It would be cool, since we're a family of tech geeks, to be able to maybe see a couple of these head offices. And so we put the word out on Facebook and on the LinkedIn about going there. Does anybody that we know work there, have connections? And Morgan dropped me a line saying I'm at Facebook now. And then Craig, who's, I haven't seen since the movie theater days, but we're Facebook friends, is like, yeah, one of my best friends actually just started working at Google. And this guy jumped in. He's like, hey, we're fans of your books. And
yeah, he said his wife was a big fan.
Yeah. And so he hooked that up. So it was so he rented a limo party bus.
As only Scott would do.
Yeah.
It was great. We were told the kids there's going to be a bit of a drive, and they're all bummed out because they're going to be squished up in the car. And then a party bus showed up. Mm-hmm. So that happened.
Ain't no party like a Silicon Valley party bus party. And yeah, so we got tours. And how cool was the stuff there where Facebook was like a university campus, both by look and age.
Yeah, we were old.
Yeah.
That was...
But the thing is, it was a university campus after you passed through security. So once you were allowed in, it was all open, these open courtyards, food trucks, and no money's passing hands.
It was a beautiful campus.
Yeah, it was very cool. People riding the Facebook bikes around, and we inspired the youth.
Yeah, they're going to do well in school. It's a great pre-school start trip. Take your kids.
So that was awesome. So thank you to our friends who did that for us. It's an amazing thing when your community can step up. And we had other offers too. We had Adobe, Intel. We could have had lunch in Apple's cafeteria, but they haven't opened the new campus yet, the new spaceship that they're working on in San Cupertino. But we had all these options. So that was very, very cool, very awesome. We got to hang out. We were right around the corner from Hayton Ashbury. And and we did Alcatraz, and we did the double-decker bus and Golden Gate. We full-on toured it.
Yeah, we full-on tourist.
And it was great. And so how's your summer going, everybody?
You guys having a good summer?
I hope so.
Some of them are back to school already. In the States, in Canada, we basically have another 2 weeks or so of summer, but some schools in the States, kids have already gone back.
Yeah.
So I think it's a little bit different. I don't know if it's state by state, but I know some people already have their
some
kids back to school.
Some here in Canada are already started this week too. Yeah. It's so weird.
We still have 2-3 weeks.
It's usually the day after Labor Day.
Yeah.
It's most people start. So it was throws you for a loop sometimes. So coming up this fall, speaking of starting of school and the day after Labor Day. First off, our fine sponsors, Emma. Get more for your email marketing. Go to myemma.com/unpodcast for all your email marketing needs. They're going to be exhibiting at an event that I'll be speaking at for the third or fourth year in a row, Content Marketing World. And we wanted to mention Content Marketing World because Emma's going to be there. I'm going to do a talk, and then I'm going to Pied Piper everybody to the booth. Give away some books. It is the Content Marketing World is September 5th through 8th. There's usually 4,000 attendees covering over 70 countries. The keynotes this year, they have Linda Boff, who's the GE's CMO, Casey Neistat, who's the I don't know, the kids know him, YouTube person, Colson Whitehead, the Pulitzer Prize-winning author of The Underground Railroad, and they just announced Joseph Gordon-Levitt is also a keynote there. It's a great
conference. Always really great content there.
And if you want, use code UNMARKETING, all caps, and you can save $100 off your ticket. And Emma will be in booth 27 in the expo hall.
Come out to Content
So
Marketing
even if
World.
we weren't speaking at it, it's just simply it's a great conference. We look for conferences like this in our business. It used to be Blog World in the fall and South by Southwest in the spring, where we all go. Like all of us, meaning all kind of marketing speakers and our friends, and we'd have a dinner with all of them. And then it's really hard to find those events because we don't see each other usually. We're all friends remotely. So this has become one of those that we all like to go to. So go check it out.
So this is very interesting to me because I think I would do this, and I'm curious to see if you would do it. I'm not sure if you would, but this is from bravotv.com, and the title of the story is, I paid $650 to be sent away on a mystery vacation, and it was effing awesome. When my best friend Ashley announced she was pregnant, I immediately looked up flights to go visit her in Denver, but for whatever reason, ticket prices had skyrocketed from a typical $300 to up to $500 in the summer when she was looking to go. I love you, I told her, but I'm not spending $500 to go to Denver again. Can we meet somewhere else? So they found this site, or app, I guess it is. It's called Pack Up and Go. And she said they'd never heard of the company before, but basically the idea is it's a surprise travel agency. So you pay a flat fee, the lowest rate being $650. It doesn't say on here how high it goes. So I assume there's some kind of like...
Where can I go for $20,000?
Yeah, and they'll happily take your $20,000. And you fill out a survey. So you pay the fee, you fill out a survey about your vacation wants and needs, and then Pack Up and Go will build you a 3-day trip. And I don't know, that may be also something you can change for length of your trip. A 3-day trip to a mystery destination in the continental U.S. from major cities to small towns. They coordinate your flights, book your hotels, provide itineraries. They do basically every kind of vacation planning thing that you could ask for. And you can add a little bit of money. They'll put in bonus surprises if you want as well. So they did this. Like they paid the $650, her and her friends, and they put some specifications in. So because, as she said, her friend was pregnant, so they ruled out any place that they felt could have a threat of Zika, because obviously that's very dangerous for pregnant women.
Yeah.
They didn't want anywhere that was very hot, so they put that in. They didn't want any, quote, adventure travel. Probably personality-based, maybe.
No whitewater rafting.
Yeah, they didn't want to go
Canyon.
whitewater rafting or anything like that. They also could rule out some cities where they've been many times. So actually San Francisco, where we were just talking about, was one of theirs. Her friend goes there a lot for work. So she doesn't want to pay money to go on a surprise trip to somewhere that she has to go for meetings every other week. And the friend had just been in Savannah, so they took that out too. And then basically, that's it. You pay, you fill out the survey, you commit, and you wait. And so then what happens is that they got a notification, and a UPS envelope comes in the mail with all your itinerary and everything inside. And so they waited and waited and waited, and then they had an opening their itinerary, I don't know, over Skype or something, I don't know, party, and they opened it up. And so, and it's pretty nice. If you go online and check out the site, you can see that it's really nicely designed. It's pretty, and it says, so they were going to Chicago. Right. And she's really interesting. She says at first she was kind of disappointed because she's like, Chicago, she just hadn't really thought about it. But then once she started looking at all the information that they'd given her and the ticket and where they were staying and all this kind of stuff, she got super excited about it. And she couldn't, it says in the article that she can't, it says a huge testament to Pack Up and Go team that they were able to get me amped up on a destination that she wasn't originally excited about just because of the way the package was and all the itinerary. And she said that she would totally do it again. They had a great time. She got to see her friend. It wasn't, the usual trip that they always do. And the surprise aspect of it made it really, really cool. So would you do something like this?
Well, first, one of the interesting things is in that package was a couple of things. One, which we're showing now, there's an envelope that says warning, no peeking until the day of your departure. So to make this part of it was you're supposed to wake up that morning, grab your bags, and then look at the thing to see where you're going.
Yeah.
But part of that package also was you could look at it before, which was the weather.
Yeah.
So they didn't tell you where you were going, but
so
they
for all
told
our
you the
packing,
weather
like our
for
packing
what
people.
you were going to pack
Yeah.
for. So the question is, does this excite anybody?
It excites me.
Would you guys do this? Would you do a surprise trip? Is this something that entices you, Wayne?
Sorry, I was messing around with speakers.
Oh,
What
son of
I
a-
miss?
They weren't even
Son
listening.
of a sound guy.
I would.
Yeah.
I would do this trip, Scott. I think,
Yeah.
you know what I think though? I think it depends. So I think that the fact that it's a very short trip, I think is a good idea because I think if you only have 2 weeks vacation a year,
Yeah.
maybe don't let other people decide where you're going to spend your 2 weeks of vacation
You're
a year.
going to Cheektowaga.
Do you know what I mean?
New York.
No matter how good how good of a job they do putting it together, if this is your limited vacation time, you might want to just control where you're going to go.
Yeah.
But I do think that if you're someone who travels a lot, especially where it's something like this, where really, she says it in the article, the trip was going to be great because she was going to get to see her friend.
Right.
So it didn't really matter where they were going.
I'm just amazed
I
that
would do it.
$650 gets you flights and hotel and tours.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
She was excited about the hotel too. She said it was one of her favorite brands.
I don't know
of
how do you get
hotels.
a hotel in Chicago for under $650 for 2 nights? That's
I don't know.
amazing to me.
They found it.
So that
Oh, and they had we're not really big Uber fans, but they also came with an Uber credit and a few other things. I would do this. I think it's fun. I like the surprise aspect. I like the idea that a 3-day getaway somewhere cool you weren't planning. I think it's fun.
I could do that for you.
Yeah, you could?
Yeah.
Aw, thanks.
And then we're going to Las Vegas.
Surprise.
I thought you were going to say Delaware.
Delaware.
It's Wayne's World. We're in Delaware. Yeah, very cool.
I think it's a
type
neat
of thing.
idea.
I'm just amazed again how they make money. It's because they have to make something on top of it too, and or it's a travel agency where they make a cut of the original price. But that very cool. I don't know if I'd do it, but it's very cool. I like to pick where we go. But anyway, very cool. I'm glad they liked it. I hope they got some deep dish pizza because that stuff's phenomenal.
It is. It's true.
Last year,
Now, if there was a surprise deep dish pizza app, you'd be all over that.
Oh,
You'd
yeah.
be right in there.
well, surprise deep dish something, and then you wouldn't know what it was until it showed up. It could be a pecan pie, or a lemon meringue, or a pizza. I'd do that. MysteryDeepDish.com. Register it.
Somebody make it.
Speaking of deep dish, this is from TechCrunch. Airbnb is banning people trying to attend a white supremacist rally. Now, obviously, we grabbed this story a few weeks ago to talk about on the show. We are recording this 2 days after the tragedy that happened in Charlottesville, Virginia. About one person killed, being run over, and 2 police officers in a police helicopter. But this is about companies taking a stand. And so the article is, ahead of a white supremacist rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, Airbnb has deactivated the accounts of some people who are trying to attend the event. Gizmodo first reported. It's not clear how many accounts Airbnb has deactivated. We asked, and the company told us there are no numbers to share. Although they provided the following statement. In 2016, we established the Airbnb community commitment, reflecting our belief that to make good on our mission of belonging, those who are members of the Airbnb community accept people regardless of their race, religion, national origin, ethnicity, disability, sex, gender, identity, sexual orientation, or age. We asked all members of the Airbnb to affirmatively sign on to this commitment. When through our background check processes, or from input of our community, we identify and determine that there are those who would be pursuing behavior on the platform that would be antithetical to the Airbnb community commitment. So we seek to take appropriate action, including, as in this case, removing them from the platform. The quick context about this white supremacist rally, it's being put on by people affiliated with a site called the Daily Stormer. In the post below, one member writes that they've taken over all the large Airbnbs in the area and have set up a Nazi Uber and the hate van. Some Airbnb members flagged the event, which led to Airbnb investigating, confirming that some of those users' platform had bookings listings for those white supremacist parties. Airbnb has banned racist hosts before. Last June, Airbnb banned someone after they canceled on a guest because the woman was black. A few months later, in September, Airbnb laid out its plan to combat racism and hatred on its platform. So there you go.
Good for you, Airbnb. We used Airbnb in San Francisco, and this makes me love Airbnb even more.
We did. We've used them in Rome, in Vegas, in Florida, in here, and there's two things here. One, we all make a choice. We have been very vocal about our stand against Uber, our stand against Shopify, allowing Breitbart store and other stores to process transactions through them. And then we're also very vocal about the companies we support. We support Starbucks and all their stances with veterans and same-sex benefits and everything, and Airbnb. And now this is where it goes, right? So we liked Airbnb because it worked well for us. Mm-hmm. We didn't choose them originally because of their ethics or because we were willfully ignorant on them. We didn't know where they stood. We just used them because it was a service. We used Lyft all over San Francisco. We were just there. Our credit card statement proves that. And so looking at Airbnb, you see this now, and now you want to use them even more.
Yeah.
And
you have to. I like that they're taking a stand, and I like that. I even like the way they explained it. That they went as a community, they decided this was important to them, and they're standing by it. And I think it's good.
And we're at this day and scary age right now, beyond business speaking, but about business as well. And we were having a conversation before about it's time to take a stand on one side or the other.
Yeah, it's
really gotten to this point that, like being silent.
It's very dangerous.
It's very dangerous, and you want to know where you stand as a brand. And sometimes people say brands should just stay out of it or not have opinion. We're all made of people, and we're all made of opinions. And then you allow people to choose accordingly. And the problem is when brands don't do something because they're afraid of the backlash. And Airbnb,
I think that right now, if you're not doing something or not saying something, that leads you to the side of supporting the hate groups, in my opinion. So.
It's nice to see companies doing this, especially the companies that directly affect a protest like this too.
Yeah, and also you're coming into someone's home. Like Airbnb has always been a really intimate thing. Like you're opening up your home as a renter. You're opening up your home and people are coming into it. And if you are a bigot and you don't want people, then you can't use Airbnb. Period.
Yeah.
Like if this is what Airbnb then go. Do something else. So I like that. It's because it's so intimate. I would hate to think that I was making money if we lived there and we were what I don't know what the word is for the people who provide the spaces on Airbnb, the hosts. Mm-hmm. If we were hosts on Airbnb, which we are not, you cannot sleep in our bed. Then I would.
You can stay for free.
I would hate to think I don't want to take money from those people, and I don't want their money, and I don't want them staying in my house, and I don't want them accessing things. So I want to know that Airbnb is going to kick them out of the service. Mm-hmm. That's what I want. So I think it's important. Good for you, Airbnb. So I don't know. This is interesting. So this article is from the IllinoisTimes.com, and it's a billboard, and it's really interesting to me because I knew as soon as I read this that it was like just a very racist statement. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure everyone does. I think it's like I'm not sure everyone would recognize it as being a super incredibly racist statement. Mm-hmm. So it's an advertisement for Gulden's Nail Spa, and it has a woman on the image, and it says underneath, "We speak to you, not about you."
Right.
So there are some people who wouldn't know why this is like a horrible statement, but so the reason is that there is a kind of a common racist statement, I guess, that if the majority of people who are working in nail salons don't speak English, and they would speak to each other in their language while you are getting your nails done, they might be speaking about you. And so it's just, there's the way the article described it is it says they're calling it discreet. I'm not sure how discreet it is, but it says Gildan's Nail Spa and its "We speak to you, not about you" is discreet, sophisticated bullying. It's ugly, it's exclusionary, and at the saddest possible time, a time when we all know the power of with which xenophobic ideas can take hold, and a time when some will provoke them deliberately for personal gain. So, I mean, it's basically saying we're a white nail salon, so you should use us because the other nail salons are bad.
Right.
Did you know why this was racist before you read the article?
The stereotype is it's Vietnamese nail salons, which is actually how nail salons got started in the United States. It's actually, on an aside, it's a incredibly interesting story to see how they started, of why they were predominantly Vietnamese nail salons. And
Did we watch a documentary about it? I think.
Yeah, we watched a short on it. It was really good. But yeah, this is veiled is a good term for it. Veiled kind of racism, I guess.
I don't even know if it is. Like, that's what I'm saying when I was reading this.
When some people didn't know it, though. Right?
Yeah, I guess
so it is.
some people
so unless you know, like, how many, quote, dudes...
Yeah, the article says they're not sure how many men are going to know
about the dynamics of a nail salon. I don't think there's anything wrong with you getting your nails done. I enjoy the good manicure at the odd time. But a lot of people don't. So that's what I mean by veiled. That the people in the know will either look at this and say, that's not right, or, aha, I get it. There's a whole part of Seinfeld. There's an episode of Seinfeld about what them speaking.
Yeah, there are
language.
jokes, right? Like that. It is kind of like, but it's one of those times when there are jokes, and when the world is moving in a progressive way, and we make jokes about things that it's a joke, and then there are times when the world is dealing with the really intense racism, and then it's not funny anymore. Although I doubt it was ever funny. You know, there's always something. It's always a cheap laugh to go with that kind of humor. But
and is that the selling point? Like, I'm trying to figure out here.
Yeah, we're white people, so you should use our spa. That's what it's saying. That is exactly what that ad is saying.
Like what?
Because it's the language, right? It's.
Do you care what people are saying?
No.
You want your nails done?
Yeah, no. I don't want anyone to talk to me.
Yeah. Talk about any language you want, as long as it's not to me. Yeah. Allison's of that.
Yeah, I hate people.
World.
I don't want anyone to talk to me while they're doing my nails.
As we've said many a times, do you think I'm the one that doesn't like people?
No.
You're wrong.
It's me.
Allison says I love people.
I hate stuff like this. That would be illegal in Canada. They wouldn't let them do.
Yeah, well, there's the difference of the countries, right? When you outlaw.
You could not do that in Canada. You couldn't hang that billboard.
But I can get my nails done.
So nobody go there.
Right.
That's how I feel about that place. Is that the end of my story? The moral is, they're a bad place.
But then again, here it is. Will this affect their business? And I wasn't planning on going to Golden's anytime soon. I don't even know where it is. But will that affect people there? And that this is the debate. And this is the debate that I want to get like Mitch Joel on the show too to talk about, because the thing is, like, well, they say United had record profits after dragging the guy off the plane, and Uber is valued at $16 trillion, and like, so none of this matters. And I can't. Two things. One, I just can't buy that. And I can't buy the fact that business being bad is always good for business. Because as United, I've chosen not to fly United multiple occasions now because of it. So I can only count on my wallet.
And that's what I was going to say. Like, it matters because we didn't spend our money there.
We didn't use Uber in San Francisco.
No, and if everybody then decides they're not going to use it, like I like when companies let you know who they are and what they're about, so that change. I would rather.
But because this ad for the nail spa could actually attract people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So
they're counting on it attracting
and here's
people.
the balance. So does the outrage of here's the important part though. Does the outrage of their target market paying customers in the area, does that outrage equal or surpass the new customers they're going to get because of this? That's where that ratio happens. So does this, look, if 100 people who are in their target market said, I will never use you, but they weren't going to anyways, versus 100 current customers canceling appointments versus 100 new customers saying, I want to go there because of this billboard. So there's your ratios, and this is what they're about. It was like Boner's Barbecue, a classic example we have way back on the site on unmarketing.com where we exposed them because they fat shamed a customer and put her picture up and everything, and it was brutal. It was one of the first things I wrote ever that went viral, and they wrote to me directly and said, thanks for the business. We're busier than ever.
And to me, that's where I think, and I know not everyone will agree with me, but that's why I think something like this should be illegal.
Right.
Because I think if you leave people to their own devices, then that's not necessarily the best thing to do. I think we have decisions in Canada, particularly stronger than the States, but where we have hate speech and we have discrimination and we have rules about these things, and you're not allowed to promote your company that way. You're not allowed to express that. You're not allowed to hire people for those reasons or fire people for those reasons. And that's just because we've decided that those are the values that we stand for. And so I don't care if there are more people who would rather go to a racist nail salon or not. My feeling is that that's when rules and balances need to be put in place, because it's not right. You can't just let things run amok.
I think this would be allowed in Canada. I
Really?
think it's vague enough that they could say.
It disgusted me, this ad.
Yeah, but they could claim we're talking about any of our nail estheticians, regardless of race, that they won't talk behind your back. Like, that's what I mean.
Sure you are.
Yeah. Oh no, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
it's vague enough. So I think it would get past our hate speech laws. But I had the
Yeah.
exact same reaction. But
So that's how I feel.
I think it's certainly.
I mean, the kids would eat ice cream for dinner every night. That doesn't mean that the choice of making the wrong decision doesn't mean you should be just left
Of
to your own
course.
devices.
Of course.
We decide what's right and wrong, and we put checks and balances in place.
Yeah, kids are not eating dinner.
That's what.
with
Do you know
ice
what I
cream.
mean? Like, it's not. You can't just say, well, it's not always about dollars to me.
Right. But if you do want to make dollars with your email marketing, go to myema.com/UnPodcast for exclusive content and all the tips and tricks you need. And plus, I have another thing to add today. You know, Alison, the number one
Oh
question.
my gosh, I'm terrified.
The number
What
one
about
question
you
we
guys?
get asked from listeners is,
Can
how
they-
can we help the UnPodcast?
It's true. I don't think it's true.
nobody's ever
Nobody
asked
has ever said that to me.
But if y'all want to help us
What
and
do we
spread
need?
the word, what we'd love for you to do is not only tell your friends and families and foes, but also
Tell your enemies about us.
give us a review. If you're on the iTunes, give us a review, preferably a 5-star one. If you don't, that's fine. Maybe keep it to yourself, smartasses. But we love it. Reviews help us. They
Ask
boost
for
us.
feedback, but
they
only
boost
good
us in the
feedback.
store. We're in the podcast world of ruled by Apple. So if you're on iTunes or whatever platform you're on the Stitchers or wherever else you're listening right now, maybe you're working out right now. Good for you, by the way. Keep going. Keep going. Keep doing them presses and lifts and runs and laps. But maybe stop for a second. You deserve a breather. And while you're stopped, how about giving us a review? We'd really appreciate that. It helps our show, and therefore, it really helps you. Thanks so much.
I was terrified when you started that whole thing.
That's my announcer voice.
Terrified. Alison,
Professional-
it's always very scary.
professional speaker.
Sentences shouldn't start that way.
So we have another great workplace and incident when it comes to people. This is from mymodernmet.com. Boss tells woman her headscarf is unprofessional, so now she shows up in cosplay every day. Workplace discrimination has met its match in June Rivas. She recently launched a bold legal battle against her boss, who had referred to Rivas' headscarf and ponytail as unprofessional, despite an explicitly stated lack of a dress code in their employment contract. When Rivas filed a complaint for harassment, her boss issued a memo to create a new set of rules governing employee appearance. This sounds like a peach of a boss.
Yeah.
Forbidding, quote, cultural head wraps, as well as visible straps, sandals, hats, lace, and more. Rivas is complying with the regulations, but not in the way her manager had likely expected. Championing her prerogative to express herself as she sees fit, Rivas now turned up at work every day in impressive cosplay. If you don't know what cosplay is, it's costumes set up as people from comic books, usually, or movies, or comic book movies. Each outfit is technically allowed. After all, the guidelines say nothing about wigs, capes, or colored contacts. In the meantime, she's waiting for the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission to investigate the situation. Hashtag never piss off cosplaying Scorpios, she writes on Facebook. And if you do, expect an audacious retort. Her chosen characters might wear capes, but it's Rivas herself who's the spunky superhero crusading for the rights of women everywhere.
I
And
love
there's
her.
all these different pictures of all these outfits from, let's see, the Star Trek characters to video game characters. And they're great costumes, by
Yeah,
the
they
way.
are really good costumes.
They're really well put together. I think we have Storm as well as one of them. Princess Leia might be one of them as well. And it's great. And by the way, her
I don't understand
her
why.
original outfit is great.
Yeah.
And wow,
I don't understand. It's
As-
discriminatory. Like, you're allowed to wear it. I don't understand why it matters to anyone. You're polite. You're doing your job well. You're working with other people well. It's a part of her. I don't know if it says in the article if it's a part of her faith or not, but I make the assumption it's part of her faith to cover her head. It doesn't harm anyone.
Cultural as well, yeah. It's ethnic origin. It could be under as well, like a bunch of different things. It's just.
How is it any different than someone coloring their hair a different color?
How is this your day as a manager? Like,
you don't have better problems. Like, their company is probably the best company in the world. It's their only issue.
Have you seen what people show up with on Casual Friday? I work somewhere, and a guy came in with jogging pants. And I don't mean, like, Lulu.
It doesn't matter. You can't wear jogging pants on Casual Friday.
Jogging
it just
pants
means jeans.
And a hockey jersey.
Jeans, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you try
Jeans.
any less?
No, I don't think so.
Like, have you seen people, like humans?
I hope she wins her fight, and I like that she's standing up for people. I'm sure there's a lot of women reading this story and applauding her.
Humans. You're all fascinating.
The worst.
Yeah, why don't we go for a made-up word?
Okay.
Don't make any sense. Don't mean no offense. It brings laziness. What is all this craziness?
Every week we feature a made-up word sent in usually by you when you've come across it on your travels. What kind of word do you see and say, what? Send it to us. If we choose your word on the show, we will give you a choice of any of our books that we will send to you at no charge, including the upcoming, soon-to-be-released at the beginning of October, because the publication date has been pushed up, of Unbranding 100 Branding Lessons in the Age of Disruption. Got the subtitle
We
right.
saw the book cover. Looks really good.
It's coming. So if you send yours, please do. By the way, in the past month, we've gotten 14 submissions of made-up words.
We had so many made-up words.
It's been.
Is it summer? Like,
No,
is
it's
it
a battle
sunshine?
now.
What
it's
happens?
a battle, and when it doesn't get picked, people are not happy.
Yeah.
Brendan Quigley was upset a few days ago. We used a word, and he had submitted it, but we didn't name him because
Someone else had submitted
someone else
it.
had submitted the same word as well. So I'm sorry, man. Don't get angry. This comes from Autumn Star. I believe somebody we've already used as well. So
we need to start a spreadsheet or something.
we need,
yeah.
we
'Cause
need. I don't know which ones we've used.
Yeah.
So, but and this is suitable, by the way, for this episode. Her made-up word is broflake.
Anyone want to take a
Wayne?
stab at what broflake means?
I'm stumped.
Way to try hard on the
Yeah.
first episode. Adam?
Oh, Jacob was talking.
Ben has a submission. Ben thinks it's a cereal.
Ben thinks it's a cereal. Attaboy. Adam?
I don't honestly know. I don't remember what I would guess.
We've stumped the panel.
I can see the Broflake cereal commercial in my head. I was going to say it's a cereal too.
Yeah.
I know it's not, but I think it sounds like a cereal. I feel like Saturday Night Live could do a fantastic cereal commercial for Broflakes.
It's little
Yeah.
corn chips with backwards hats.
Yeah.
And stuff, and talking about the gym.
Yeah.
Right? So broflake is a bro snowflake, which is snowflake is the popular term that people use for
Easily offended
easy offended people.
lefties.
Right. And so a broflake is like flipping it on them. So well done. Autumn is a huge supporter of the show, always contributing and stuff. So Autumn, thank you so much. Let us know. And if we pick your made up word more than once, like different words.
We have
different
we have
submissions,
a bunch of books.
we have 4 books. We can send you a pair of socks, maybe, if you're a multiple winner.
Soon to be 5 books, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, 7 if you include the 3
Different versions and
of marketing.
stuff.
Yeah. So that's all the time we have. Get back outside. Do something, for crying out loud.
You want them to leave the house?
Yeah.
But they can take us with them in their headphones.
Oh, you can do that too, yeah. Keep us with you and
Yeah,
get
keep
out.
us with you. We need out.
Get off the couch. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and visit theunpodcast.com. And remember, friends don't let friends use QR codes.